Everyone's been asking about it, so today we're going to do it. We got the Pro Team 195 in the water. We're going to do 360 versus Mega 360 side-by-side imaging. We just need to kind of dial in the graphs real quick here at the dock, and then we'll get started. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this episode. Welcome back to McAwee Outdoors. It's February 28th, 2023 here in Missouri. We're over at beautiful Smithville Lake. Air temperature is going to be around 48 degrees right now. The graph's showing water temp at a 41. We do have a pretty good little breeze coming out of the east, but we're hanging out over here at the W Bridge ramp and going to start over here showing you some images of Mega 360 versus Standard 360. We'll give you a rundown of the graphs real quick while we're doing it. First graph here is going to be a Humminbird Helix 12 G3. It's a mega down imaging graph, and this is where my Mega 360 is running to. As you can tell down here in the corner, frequency is 1.050 to 1.175 megahertz. This is the image that we have right now of this, and if you look right here in the cross, that is actually the dock, and I believe this probably right here is the concrete pad to the ramp. Got something kind of over here on the brush, or maybe a good sized rock, but this is pretty much Mega 360 over here. We got 10-foot rings, and our range is at about 40 feet right now. If we move up to the Standard 360, this is a Humminbird Helix 12. This is a G2 down imaging. It is not a mega unit. Right now the Standard 360 is at 455 kilohertz. As you can tell, the image just not quite as good as it is on the Mega. You can still see the dock kind of here. It looks like a ladder. You can't really make out the concrete pad line all that well. It did pick up about in the same spot something out here in the water, more than likely a rock or a brush. But as you come down here, you can definitely see it's more defined on the Mega. You can definitely see the dock way better. And you can also see that line of the concrete pad for the ramp as it's coming down. So well, we've moved over to another location. We're going to give you a quick look real quick. We got a nice sunken tree here. Conservation is sunk. Over here is also a rock shore for the bridge. And as we come down here to Mega 360, you can definitely see all the rocks way better. Up here is the brush pile. As you can see right here, as it comes back around, you can actually see individual branches coming up here in the water column, way more defined on the Mega 360. As we come up here to the Standard 360, it's not doing too bad of a job, but you can't really make out the rocks as more defined. you can see that there is a brush pile kind of sitting here and here, and you can make out some of the bigger branches sticking up here in the water column. So still pretty good image for standard 360, but the Mega 360, you can make out all the rocks around here where they made the roadway, and you can definitely see more distinct lines for the tree that they sunk, and also more defined branches sticking up in the water column on the 360. So we're going to move over to another location and shoot a little bit more. All right, we moved over here to the next location. We're over here underneath the W bridge, so I don't know how well the spot lock's going to work exactly under the bridge. Give you an idea. Here's the pillars of the bridge. Some guys over there catching some crappie on a brush pile. Let me get up closer. As you can tell now, we still have a nice rocky bottom here where they built the bridge. And here's the two bridge pillars and the concrete brace that comes across on them. Way more defined. You also got a shadow shooting off here off the bridge pillar, and you got another shadow shooting off there. If we move up here to the standard 360, you don't have as much rocky bottom defined as well, but you still can see the bridge pillar right there. You can still see the shadow kicking off of it. Here's the concrete cross member that comes across, and you can make out just a little bit of the other pillar right there, but you don't have the nice shadow back behind it. We're kind of struggling under the bridge because it's really windy under here, but that's pretty much standard 360 here under the bridge. Mega 360 is way more defined, so looking a lot nicer, but the standard 360 is still not too bad. I don't know if we can dial this in a little bit better. If we turn the sensitivity up, we're gonna maybe wash it out. Maybe we can take her back the other way. We might have to switch color palette here. Let's see if we switch color palette, if that'll help it. Actually, this one don't look too bad. Let's try this. See if we can get this a better picture, so it's not as hot. I kind of like that color palette a little bit better. I think it helped it a little bit. You can definitely see more. The concrete's a little more defined there. Concrete pillar shooting off. Concrete pillar shadow here. This shadow is probably from the trolling motor shaft and the Mega 360, but it's night and day difference with the Mega 360. So we're gonna move over to another pillar. Maybe we'll pick up some crappie on the imaging. All right, we've moved over to another bridge pillar, and looking here on the standard 360, you can see the top pillar up here and all these dots. That is more than likely crappie hanging out on the graph. It is literally loaded through here. If you come down here to Mega, you can definitely see like tons and tons of either crappie or shad. That's the bridge pillar right there. But there's even some more crappie actually back behind us over on the side, but straight out in front over here is just packed full of crappie. So standard 360, there's your bridge pillar. Tons of crappie hanging out in front. Mega 360 right here is the bridge pillar right there, going that way now. And all that in front of us is crappie, and there's actually some crappie back behind us. So we're getting ready to move over to the next one. Well, we've moved over to another location. We've tucked up into a nice little cove where the water's really calm. waiting for spot lock to kind of settle down a little bit. The conservation has a buoy over here. It says fish attractor. We're not too far from the W Bridge. We got a hard bottom over here with a lot of rock and stuff, and still where they've built the bridge. Mega 360 is giving us the best image over here. You definitely can see their fish attractor sticking up out of the water into the water column there. You can actually see it kind of going down. You can actually pick out some rocks and stuff, seeing the shadows. Over here would be the buoy, where it's down in the water, and probably the concrete that it's anchored to. If we move up to standard 360, you can kind of see where the concrete, I assume that's how it's anchored into the ground. You can make out just a little bit of the old fish attractor still there. You can kind of make out a couple spots. I think this is probably some brush that's behind us. More than likely that's probably a rock. There's a nice rock. You can definitely see it with the shadow. It's the same rock that's right here with a shadow. So standard 360 is not doing too bad of a job. Mega 360 is way more defined. You can definitely see more hard returns and stuff. A lot of things are more defined into the water column too. So gonna move over to another one and shoot some more video. Well, we've moved over to another brush pile. Conservation has dropped over here. We're south of the W Bridge, and I picked this up when I was coming up through here in this little cove on my side imaging, and it looks really nice on side imaging. Mega 360. You can see this tree. It comes up into the water column. Kind of played with the color palette a little bit here, and this is the palette we were using earlier under the bridge and stuff. It's not quite as defined as well. I've tried to mess with the contrast and everything on it. Sensitivity. Blue, it does show up maybe a little better in the blue-purple palette, number 1. That's the palette we've been using, number 2. This red palette, number 3, you can definitely see it's a little more defined. We've got some other kind of structure up here. This is the palette we've been using on the standard 360, and it doesn't look as good on the Mega as it does on the standard. There's green. Green's got a nice return on it. I think this is a gray. You can make it out a little bit there. Reverse. Let's go back down here. This is the color palette we're using on the standard 360, and if you look at it up here, the rock and stuff here, as you can tell, we got a rock bottom. It's not as defined, but you can see that tree really good right there. There's a main branch coming here. There's another branch there. I really don't know how old that brush pile is, but it is color palette here on the standard 360. That is a pretty good image. If we go on to the color palette 3, which is a little hotter, we'll wait until it comes back around. You can see it really defined. Coming up through there, you can still see the shadows up there. Daggone it. This is palette number 2. Wait till it comes back around. There's color palette number 2. You can definitely see the sunken log or brush pile. Down here on Mega, you can still see it up there, but it is definitely better when you bump it over to the third color palette. 2 palettes where we've been running pretty much all morning, so it is actually pretty good on the 2. The 3, it really shows up. I've kind of messed with the sensitivity and the contrast. Every time I move, I got to dial it a little different, but there's that tree on or that brush pile on Mega, and here's the standard. The standard's actually doing pretty good on that brush pile, so we're going to move over to another brush pile that's a little bit deeper and see if we can get some good images. All right, this is what we're going to try to find on the Mega 360, standard 360. I think it's like a drum, maybe. I don't know, like a barrel. We're going to see if we can find it. We found it on side imaging really easy, so we're going to see if we can find it on the 360s. We're up here on the front. We got spot lock anchored down again. The barrel or pot or whatever it is that we found on side imaging. Here it is on Mega 360. I don't know, maybe you guys can tell me really what that is. It's a really good hard return, whatever it is. It's got a real good image. You can actually see the little bumps on the barrel or pot, or maybe it's a truck rim, I don't know. We do have some logs and down trees back here in the back. Got some brush sticking up here in the water column. Basically that's to the left of us over there, so it's kind of ways to the shore, but we do have rock all the way through here. If we come up here on standard 360, you can still see the pot really good, or rim, or whatever it is. You don't see the bumps around the edge of it. You do see though the limbs sticking up in the water column here, and right here you can see that one log. Spot lock's moved us a little bit, but you can still see some brush. Just not as good on the standard 360. Way better on the Mega 360. So just an interesting thing I found out here on Smithville while fishing. I don't know what that is. Guys, leave it down in the comments down below what you think it is. Well, that's going to do it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you would. We got some more videos coming out with 360, Mega 360 side by side. Hopefully we'll get some Mega Live imaging. I'd like to put some Mega Live up on that barrel or tube or whatever that is that we found. Right now though, I'm going to try to catch some fish. So stay safe, get out on the water and catch some fish.